Welcome to Bodde Yoga. I'm Robyn. For today's practice, we are going to practice our balancing, and we achieve that by doing poses that we stand on one foot. This helps to strengthen our ankles and our legs. So come to a standing position. We are going to start standing today. And let's start by taking some deep breaths in. And we're going to get our whole body into this so that we start to really get the energy moving. So let's start by bending the knees, coming down, and then we're going to inhale and come up, bringing the arms up overhead. Inhale real big. And then exhale down, bending the knees, bringing the arms down, curling into a ball. And then inhale up, extend overhead. And exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Great big inhale up. And then when you exhale, just come to a standing position or mountain pose. So your feet are about hip width apart, your arms down by your side. This is going to be our neutral position today. And from here, let's do some shoulder rolls. So roll your shoulder, alternate your shoulders, roll them back, lift up and back, up and back. Do this a few times. And then when you're ready, switch directions. So up and forward. And then come back to stillness, our mountain pose. And from here, let's do some hip circles. So bend your knees slightly and just then circle your hips around. And again, we're going to do a few times one direction. And then we'll switch and we'll roll the hips in the opposite direction a few times. And then we'll come back to our mountain pose. And then we're going to pick up one foot and kind of roll the foot around, getting some movement in the ankle. Again, one direction, and then switch and go the other way a few times. And then come back to standing and bring the other foot up and roll it around a few times. And change direction. And then from here, step to the top of the mat if you need to. Coming to our mountain pose. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And exhale out. And then we're going to bend the knee slightly, pick up the left foot, cross it over the right knee, and then keep bending the right knee, folding over slightly, getting a stretch in the hip, and our standing figure four. From our standing figure four, we're going to straighten it. When we uncross the left leg, we're going to go ahead and step it way back, coming into a high lunge, arms overhead. Pivot on the left foot to about 90 degrees. Lower the arms to shoulder height, keeping that right knee bent for warrior two. Straighten the right knee so you can pivot the right foot. And you're going to bring both feet so they're at about a 45-degree angle. And we're going to squat down like you're sitting in a chair with wide legs. For our goddess squat, you can have your hands at prayer, or you can bring them up to goalposts. And we're going to straighten the legs, turn the feet to point straight forward and forward fold for a wide-legged forward fold. You can bring your hands to the mat, or they can stay at your waist, or they can stay in prayer position. From our wide-legged forward fold, we're going to walk our hands back around to the right, so we're facing the top of the mat again. Let the feet turn with you. Start bending the knees a little bit. And when you feel stable, lift the torso and arms back overhead, coming back to our high lunge. From our high lunge, we're going to step the left foot forward, lifting it to just under the knee or the top of the thigh. The left knee is open toward the left for tree pose. Your hands can be at prayer, or they can be extended up overhead for the full expression of tree pose. From here, we'll lower the left foot back down to the mat and immediately forward fold down. You can bend your knees as much as you need to here. And from our forward fold, we're going to halfway lift, straightening the back, bringing the hands to the shins. Hold here for a breath. On your next exhale, forward fold back down. From our forward fold, we're going to step the right foot way back, then the left foot way back for plank. From our plank, we're going to lower our knees down to come to tabletop. So your hips are over your knees. Your hands are under your shoulders. And then curl your toes under so the toe pads are pressed into the mat. Now we're going to lift our knees just enough to hover them over the mat. So pressing into the Toes of your feet, hover your knees off the mat. And then lift the hips all the way up for downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lift up on your tippy toes and then gently walk your feet forward toward your hands or your hands back toward your feet, coming back to a forward fold. And then from our forward fold, we're going to roll back up to our mountain. Head is the last to come up. And if you walked your hands back towards your feet, you might need to step back up toward the top of your mat. And from here, we are going to pick up our right foot off of the mat. Bend the left knee slightly, crossing the right foot over the left knee, and start to squat down, folding slightly, coming to our standing figure 4. With sides tighter on me. So you might notice you have one side on you that's tighter than the other. That's normal. And we're going to straighten up and bring our right foot way back. Coming into that high lunge, bending the left knee, arms overhead. And then pivot your right foot to about 90 degrees, opening the hips toward the right, lowering the arms to shoulder height for warrior 2. Straighten the left knee so you can turn that foot, and then bring your heels in a little bit so your feet are about 45 degrees. And then squat down for our goddess squat. And again, you can bring the arms to goalposts if you like. And then straighten the knees, hinge at the hip, turn the feet straight, coming into the wide-legged forward fold. And from our wide-leg forward fold, we're going to walk the hands toward the left to face the top of the mat again. Let both feet follow. Start to bend the knees slightly. Find your stable spot. And then when you're ready, lift the torso and arms overhead. Coming back to that high lunge. From our high lunge, we are going to step forward and we're going to lift the right foot to below the knee or the top of the thigh, with the knee open to the right for tree pose. Again, your hands can be at prayer or extended overhead. And then we're going to release the right foot back down to the mat and immediately forward fold all the way down. And from our forward fold, we're going to heel toe our feet to about the edge of the yoga mat. And then we're going to sit our hips all the way down as far as they can to the heels, coming into Malasana squat. And you can bring your hands between your knees to prayer position, pushing your knees open more with your elbows. And then from here, we're going to place our hands back down on the mat. We're going to lift the hands back up, heel toe the feet back in for our forward fold. And then from our forward fold, we're going to step the right leg back and the left leg back, coming to plank. And then from our plank, we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Place the hands under the shoulders. And we're going to lift the chest for cobra. From our cobra, we're going to curl our toes under and lift the hips up for downward facing dog. Our down dog. We're just going to lower our knees down to the mat, coming back to tabletop. From our tabletop, we're going to turn toward the left. Let your knees follow. Extend your right foot to the right side with the sole of the foot on the mat. So you're making a triangle shape with your legs. Lift your torso upright. Bring your left arm overhead and then side bend toward the extended right leg, keeping the chest lifted for gate pose. Straighten your torso. You can bring your hands back down to the mat in front of you. We're going to turn to face the right leg, letting the left knee turn with you. The right leg stays straight. You're going to peel the foot up off the mat so the heel is pressed down for our half split. from our half split, we are going to again turn toward the left. We're going to bring the right leg in as we turn. And this time we're going to extend the left leg to the left side. Lift the torso. Raise the right hand overhead and side bend toward the extended left leg for gate pose. Straighten the torso. Bring both hands back down to the mat so you can turn toward the left, letting the right knee turn with you, keeping the left leg straight and lifting the foot up so the heel is pressed into the mat for our half split on the left side. And from our half split, we're going to come down to seated. So you can work your left leg to pull it back in so you can come down to seated. Bring your legs in front of you. And then bring the soles of your feet together, making a diamond shape with your legs. Sit up nice and tall, and then forward fold over that diamond shape for bound angle forward fold. However far you can fold is fine, just as long as you're feeling a bit of a stretch. And from here, we're going to sit back up and we'll lay back on the back with the knees pointed up toward the ceiling. And from here, we're just going to let the knees fall over to the right. Bring the arms to a goalpost shape for a reclined twist. Gently lift the knees back up to center. And then you're going to go straight to the other side, so let them fall to the left. And bring the knees back up to center, and then extend the right leg out long and the left leg out long. Bring the arms down by the side with the palms facing up for Shavasana. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. You can stretch overhead if you would like to. And then when you're ready, gently roll to one side and push on up to seated. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you like this practice, and I will see you next time.